morning, class. You should have just gone over worksheets 9.2 and 9.3 with the answer keys on the Elmo. And then you should have worksheet 9.2-9.3 in front of you. I'm going to do 5 examples on the worksheet, and then you are going to take homework checks 9.2 and 9.3, and then you'll have the remainder of the time to finish the worksheet that's in front of you. So let's first take a look at number 1, and please get in the habit of redrawing the bases so that we don't mix up the height of the base with the height of the actual prism. So the name of this base would be a rectangular prism. Remember that a prism has 2 bases and they are parallel as well as congruent. So our shape is a rectangle for the base, therefore the area of the base is going to be base times height. So 6 times 7 gives me 42 centimeters squared. Then the perimeter of the base, we have to add up all the sides. Now remember that there's 4 sides, so we have to put a 7 here and a 6 there. So if you add up all the sides, you should get 26 centimeters. Okay. Now let's plug it into the formula. So surface area equals 2b plus pH. Remember that these formulas will be written on the board for you, but the name of the solids will not be. So 2 times 42 plus P, which is 26, times the height of the prism. Remember that the height is the distance between the 2 bases. So in this case, 22. So you should get the surface area to equal 84 plus 26 times 22, which is 572. So total surface area is 656. And then don't forget your units of centimeters squared. Okay. From there, we need to find the lateral area, and remember that the lateral area is pH. So in this case, just 26 times 22, which we already found to be 572 centimeters squared. All right, let's take a look at number 2. Number 2 is still a prism, okay, regardless of the fact that the base is now a triangle. So the name of the solid is going to be a triangular prism. And let's redraw the shape of the base. So this is 8 and this is 6. Okay. So the first thing we have to do is find the area of the base. Well, since this is a triangle, the area of the base is going to be base times height divided by 2. So 8 times 6 divided by 2, and you should get 24 inches squared. Now the hard part here is finding the perimeter of the base. Please do not use 16 as the third side of the triangle. The 16 is the height of the prism. It is the distance between the 2 bases. And if you need to, highlight the other side of the base so that way you make sure you don't use the height of the prism as part of the base. Okay. So notice that this is a right triangle, and we can use Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side. So 8 squared plus 6 squared is going to equal c squared. So 64 plus 36 equals c squared. C squared equals 100, so c equals 10. Once we know that, we can add up all the sides of the base. So 8 plus 6 plus 10, which gives you 24 inches. Okay. So let's recap there. In order to find the perimeter of this triangle, we had to use Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side so that you could add up all the sides to find the perimeter. All right, next thing we're going to do is find the surface area of the prism. Okay. Remember that surface area is 2b plus pH. So surface area equals 2 times 24 plus 24 times the height of the prism, which in this case is 16. So we get 48 plus 384, which equals 432 inches squared. And then lastly, we need to find the lateral surface area. Remember that the lateral surface area does not include the area of the bases. So if we look at our formula, it's just pH. So this right here, 384 inches squared. I will be making sure that your units are correct today on the homework check, so please make sure that only area, total surface area, and lateral surface area have squared units. Everything else is just inches, centimeters, etc. All right, let's take a look at number 3. Number 3, the name of the solid is a cylinder. So the formula for a cylinder, remember, is the same actually for a prism. It's just that our shape of our bases are now circular. So it changes what computations that we make. So this is going to be 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r times h. Okay. So this would be the b, so 2 times b, and then this would be the perimeter, 2 pi r times h, because remember that we have circumference for quote-unquote perimeter. So this equals 2 times pi, r squared is 4 squared, plus 2 times pi times 4 times the height. Okay. So let's break it down. The area of the base is going to be pi r squared. So pi times 4 squared, which is 16 pi centimeters squared. Please leave your answers in terms of pi. Okay. The perimeter of the base is going to be 2 pi r, so 2 times pi times r, which is 8 pi centimeters. So this gives me 32 pi plus 144 pi. So my total surface area is going to be 176 pi centimeters squared. Once again, please leave your answers in terms of pi. Now lateral surface area is p times h, or in this case, since we're working with a circle, 2 pi r h. So right here. So lateral surface area is 144 pi centimeters squared. Okay. Now hypothetically, let's say we forgot about this right here, 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Remember that you can just use 2 times b, which would have been 16 pi, plus 2 pi r, which is quote-unquote the perimeter, so 8 pi times the height, which was 18. And notice you have the same exact setup. Okay. Next example, number 4. First of all, let's name the solid. This is a square pyramid. Remember that a pyramid meets at a point. This is not a cone. A cone will have a circular base. You should only be using the equations with pi for cylinders and cones because those are the only ones that have pi in the formula and have circular bases. Okay, think of an ice cream cone. An ice cream cone isn't square. Maybe it is out there somewhere, but not typically. Okay, so this is a square pyramid. So area of the base is 80 times 80, which gives you 6,400 centimeters squared. the perimeter of the base, and if we need to, let's draw it off to the side, so 80 and 80, so that's how we found the area. The perimeter is going to be all four sides. So that is going to be 320 centimeters. Now remember, there's a difference between the height of the prism and the height of the pyramid and the slant height of the pyramid. The height of the pyramid is this one right here. It is the one that is going to be perpendicular from the vertex down to the base of the pyramid. Our slant height is the one that is the height on the outside of the pyramid. That's the one we need for our formula. Because our formula calls for surface area equals B plus 1/2 P times the slant height. The slant height in this case is 41 centimeters. So surface area equals B, which is 6,400. Now think about why there's only one B, because a pyramid only has one base, plus 1/2 times the perimeter times the slant height. So that's 6,400 plus whatever 1/2 times 80 times 41 is, which is 6,560. So our total surface area comes out to be 12,960 centimeters squared. All right, last example. We're going to scroll all the way down to number 7. Notice that this is going to be a cone. It has a circular base. So this time, the surface area formula is going to be pi r squared to represent one base, plus pi times r times the slant height. Now once again, think about why the formula is the way it is. If you look back to a pyramid, it's B plus 1/2 perimeter times the slant height. Well, perimeter for a circle is 2 pi r. 1/2 times 2 is just 1, which is how we get pi r times the slant height. So area of the base, now we're not going to use 56, that's the diameter. So first we need to find the radius, which is 28 feet. So we have 28 squared times pi. That gives you 784 pi feet squared. Once again, please keep your answers in terms of pi. The perimeter of the base, or in other words, the circumference, is 2 times pi times r, so 28. So this gives you 56 pi feet. So from here, you can plug it into B plus 1/2 P times the slant height, which we still need to find, or you can just do surface area equals pi times r squared plus pi times 28 times whatever the slant height is. Let's find the slant height. Once again, we have a right triangle. Okay. But we are only going to use half down here. So this is 28 squared plus 21 squared equals the slant height squared. Okay. That's going to come out to be 1225. So the slant height is 35. And now we can plug that into our formula. So this gives us 784 pi plus 980 pi for a total surface area of 1,764 pi feet squared. Once again, please keep your answers in terms of pi. Okay. Let's say we forgot this formula right here. Okay. We could have gone and used, quote-unquote, the pyramid formula and just plugged it in. So 784 pi plus 1/2 times the perimeter, which is 56 pi, times the slant height, and that would have given us the same answer. Okay. All right, now you guys will take both homework checks, and you have the rest of the time after the homework checks to finish this worksheet. Have a good weekend.